Welcome to Smart Web YouTube channel. So today we'll be actually analyzing the data given to us by a company that we would not like to mention the name actually. Now, this data, we'll be doing so many things with this data. If you can see this dashboard, we'll replicate this dashboard. You can see the aim is to replicate this dashboard, but today video we will actually be analyzing the data, doing data cleaning. So if you want to see how this dashboard is built, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Wait for the second video of how we build this dashboard using Power BI. Give it a thumbs up, you will learn a lot. So today what we will be doing on this lesson is on this billing and collection trend dashboard. First of all, we'll do data cleaning using Python, and the second thing we are doing is data analysis using SQL, MySQL, sorry, using SQL, server, sorry, using SQL server. Now, first of all, we'll dive into it. Now, this is actually the data being given to us. Now, the data will be supplied on the comment section if you want to make use of it. This is the data given to us for this particular work. Now, let's try to actually see the full data. Now, if you see this data, it's actually scattered from my own point of view. It's scattered a lot of invoice numbers. You can see a lot of null values and all that. So let's see what we can do. Let's go to data view. Let's try to add filter to this data. Let's check if there are some things, an empty cells. So this is the first step we need to do. This, let me check this. Okay, let me go to date. Whoa, the date is from 2024 to 2025. Okay, that's very good. On this date, let's check something. You can see that this date is not in the correct format. It's actually in general format, which is not the correct format of date. So we have to actually, this is some of the things we need to do clean up here and other. So for us to do this, I need to save this file in SCV. Let me save it. Have I created a folder for this? Let me try to save it up. Let's quit this, we don't need it. Let me go to my desktop. Okay, sorry, this is it here. So I will try to save it under this Python tutorial. Okay, I will save this thing in two different form. Whenever you are saving Excel formats, save it as CSV UT8, not as normal CSV. What do I mean? Let me show you what I mean. I will save it in two different forms on the desktop Python tutorial. Now this is CSV comma deleted, and you can see we have other CSVs, we have other ones, and we have this also. So first of all, this is the format it is, right? This is the format it is. Let's save it that way. Okay, let me save this one again. Let me resave it as where is it, Python tutorial, with another format, but let me name it. Let me just say one. Let me name it as one. UT8 encoded UTF8 delimited. Now you see why it's important to save your file in the UT8 encoded delimited. Now let's try to open our Jupyter notebook. If you have not watched the video on how to create your Python environment and also log in directly to your Jupyter notebook, please try and do that. Try and do that. I taught you how to do all these things. Try to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can create your Python environment. You will not be lost on this particular one. So what's the name of our folder? Python tutorial. Is it the name of the folder? No. Let me see. We are making mistake here. Python tutorial. Python tutorial. Say it's not found. So let's see what's the problem. Okay, let me do this. Um, rename. Let me copy the name actually. So let's see. CD change directory desktop. Enter. This system cannot find the parts. Oh, let's quit this. I think I'm overdoing things. Mm, let's open it again. Sorry, bear with me. CD. What's the problem? CD desktop. CD desktop. Python tutorial. Right. Then Jupyter notebook. Jupyter notebook. So I'm trying to load my Jupyter notebook for us to make use of our Jupyter notebook for our data cleaning using Python. So we have seen some of the things that we needed to do. So let me close some of these tabs here so that we don't have so much tabs open. Now you can see that the Python the payment report that I saved are all here. You can see that, right? So all we need to do is create a notebook. Create a notebook. Let's allow it to load. Panel select, yes. So what do we call this now? Which name should we call it? Um, okay. Um, payment reports. Payment report cleaning. Payment report cleaning. So the first thing that we need to do is to import our dependencies, right? Import pandas as PD. df is equals to pd.read underscore csv in bracket. Let's see what's the name of the first one. Payment report tray. Payment report tray. Click on tab. Payment report tray. df. Let's see if it works. It works actually. Yeah. What is actually advisable is very advisable that this is already in CSVs. It's very advisable to save your document in UT8 UTF-8 encoded. So please pay very good attention to that. So I'll be using that one in particular. There are sometimes you encounter errors when you don't do that. So please pay attention to that. Payment. I'll be using this. Let's save. Okay. Now some of these codes, the code will be also be provided through my GitHub. So if you need to make use of them. Now, one thing about that we want to do now is try to clean up this data, fix missing values and all that. Now, the first thing that we need to do is let's check missing values. Let's check missing values. We notice that when we are evaluating it on Excel, we 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 actually have missing values, right? So let's check those missing values and know how far. You can see that from here we have a column. called that doesn't have any name, which is zero. Let's go to our Excel and check it. So there is a column that doesn't have name. Very good. And this actually, should I call it a serial number, which is very important for us to use in this particular scenario. So we will not be deleting it. We will not be deleting that column. So let's go back. You can see this. You can see in this particular industry, it's missing 139 values. Invoice is missing 990, which means it's not even important in our data set. So what we actually do, let's see. Let me see, what's the name? Industry. What's the industry all about? The industry, the column with the industry. And you can see this is a very good um column for us to make use of. Are we making use of it? So let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Okay, now let me assign a variable to this. Let me call it missing value equal to this. It's still the same thing when you say missing value this. So I just assigned a value to it because I want to check something. Now let me display column with missing value greater than zeros. Let me check also um missing value missing value greater than zero. Missing value greater than zero. Now what this does is it filters the only one that has those missing value. You can see that from here, it picked the columns that actually has the missing value, the only columns that have the missing values. So now what else are we going to do here? We have to remove the unnecessary columns. Now first, you can see that this actually is not important, because if you check the count of this, the shape of this our data. Let me check the shape. You see that we have 1000 columns, right? And 1000 rows and 11 columns. So this is actually very this 1000, this 990 this thing data missing. So this particular thing is not important. This particular column is not important. So you have to actually try to remove some of this, to drop some of those columns that will not be making use of, right? Now we can say columns to drop. We can say columns to drop equals to, and we do this invoice number. Let's copy this, make sure there's no space here. Df is equals to, we want to assign it when we affect the changes immediately. So df dot drop column. Now columns to drop error. Now I'm using tab. Whenever I type something, I use tab to bring it out. I want to ignore any error that it will actually cause. Now this is column to drop, which is this particular column, invoice. Then the data set equals to df to drop this particular column, which is assign this particular column here, which is this, to drop it. So we'll click this, it runs successfully. So df, you can see that. Let's check if it drops it successfully. If you check, it's no more there, the invoice is no more there. We can actually rerun this to see. From here you can even see that this 10 columns remaining and 1000 rows. Sorry, this particular one is the row and this is the column, as I said before. So this is actually 10 columns and 1000 rows, you can see. So if you run this, it's still giving us the other thing. Okay, we have not assigned this, so no need, don't worry. If you can see this, assigning this, you see it here, that there is nothing like invoice anymore. Now the next thing we need to do is this. We have to rename the columns. If you check, these columns are categorical columns. Some of these columns are categorical columns and some are numerical columns also. So but we have to rename it. We have to rename this particular one called unknown. We know that this is actually a serial number and we need it whenever we want to build our dashboard or do our analysis. So we can't just remove it, we can't do without it. So what we'll do is this: we have to rename the column to serial number. How do we do that? df is equals to, now this df dot rename, just follow me, columns, right? So we have to put it in a set form. So the first one, we want to replace this called unnamed and replace it with what is called what? Serial number. Serial number. Serial number. Hope my spelling is correct. So let's run this. We have an error. Object is not callable. What's the mistake that we are making here? What's the mistake that we're making here? Oh, sorry. This is actually the name. This is actually the name. I neglected this zero. This is actually how it appeared, the name, because it's an empty set. So we'll have to do this, rename this, make sure that it's the name. It's still giving us an error. What's the problem? Okay, it's set. Sorry, this comma, this column, sorry, it's set. Very good. So we have solved the error. So let's check. Now we have the serial number attached to this, right? So we can see 1, 2, 3. This particular one is automatic serial number given to it, which will not appear whenever you even install the data. So this is actually the serial number which we needed the column for our analysis. Now the next thing we have to do is this. I want to actually make work easier for me. You can see that this particular one, apart from this one that I just added here, is already in small letters and also what's it called, underscores. So this is a very good practice for you to do. Now I want to change these column names to small letters and also to a form that it's easier for us. Now we have to rename it and make them lowercase and replace the space with underscore. Now what we have to do now is this. df dot columns we know that this df dot let's run this so that you see this is the name of the columns of our data set. This is the name of the columns of our data set. So we want to actually change it to small letters. So df dot columns equal to we assign it df dot which means lowercase. Another thing we have to do is this. We have to replace this space here with underscore, right? We have to replace this space here with underscore. Let's do it together so that this video will not take too much of our time. Columns equals to df dot columns, right? Dot string dot replace so we are replacing what? We are replacing the space. So we use this an empty space, comma, with underscore. Sorry, with underscore. So we are replacing what it means is that it should replace this empty space, which is this. Where is it? Which is this particular empty space with underscore. The first one is also to put the column's name in small letters, that's in lowercase. So let's do this. Let's run this. Now it runs successfully. So let's check our data set. You can see that this actually worked. You can see it actually worked perfectly. Actually works perfectly. So what's the next thing we want to do? Remember, when we checked our date here, when we checked our date here, um, when we check our date here, it was not in date format. You can see it's in general format. So I want us to convert it to the normal date format, the acceptable date format, so that when we put it in somewhere like SQL or Power BI, it can be able to read it. Now you can able to work with it. Now these things we are doing can also be done in Excel. It can also be done in SQL. It can also be done in Power Query, Power BI query. So, but I'm doing this on Python for you to actually also learn how to do some of these things using Python. Now, how do we do this? We have to change this column to the format, the dates column to the to format that is supposed to be. Let me see. Let me see this. I want to actually see the column so that I can easily copy it without going up. So let me copy this. This is the dates, the payment date. Remember, I want to convert it to date format. The payment date, right, equals to pd dot to underscore to date time, right? Then df okay, I think I still copied this here. Comma. So what's the format that we want this to be now? The format we want it to be, we need equal to here. Since we are using format day, day format slash month right? And slash, sorry, and year. Is this correct? Let's run it and see what's the problem. Position at position 0 month. Want to try? Okay, let me do this. So why are we getting error here? Why are we getting error here? Sorry, let me figure it out. What's the problem here? Cover data remain passing with format at position 0. You might want to try, what? So I've figured this thing out. So we have to actually strip the dates to make sure that if there is any error that contains there is spaces or that contains, they will have to remove it. Then make sure that this payment date, the format is there and error is covered. So let's check this. Let's check the format. Let's check the format. Let's check the format of this particular thing. Let's check it. Df.type. Df.type. Sorry. Df.dtypes. Am I? Huh? Dtypes. So let's check. You can see that this actually changed. You can see the payment date is already in date format now. You can see it. So this actually, so we have succeeded in converting it. So the next thing you have to do, this you have to um do is this, to also check, we still have some missing values. If you agree with me, we have some missing values. We still have some missing values, right? Let me just copy this from up here. If you can see from here, we have this. Let me paste it. I don't want to start rewriting the codes. We have this. You can see we still have missing values, right? This date is complete. This particular one, the payment date is complete. So we still have missing values in the industry, payment method, and payment bank. Now, you can agree with me that some of these things, the serial number is integer. If you go to the industry and all that, so some of these things need to be filled up. Now, how do we do this? We have to copy some of these things, the names, and fill them up. We have three, one, two, three. So how do we do it? Let's name it categorical columns. Categorical categorical columns equals to categorical columns equals to categorical columns equals to this. So let's copy this. The next one we have there is this. That's the next one we have is this. The next one we have is actually this particular one, right? That's it. This particular one is already complete. So the next thing we have to do is there is no space attached to it. So the next thing we have to do is to convert it, to fill it up, sorry, categorical columns equals to df categorical columns categorical columns Fiona. Now what this Fiona does is to actually fill the empty spaces with unknown. That's a pandas function. So let's run this. Hope we don't have an error. df, let's check. Okay, so let's rerun this now. Let's rerun this. Oh, let me run it this way. df dot is now dot sum. Are you serious? There's a problem here. Sorry, let me. What I will do, I will run this code from the beginning. I will run it from the beginning. Run it from the beginning so that we have this. In this particular one, what we'll do is this code will make use of this particular one. We are not stripping it out. We'll make use of this particular one here. Exactly. So this particular one will make use of. Then you can see that the missing value, the date is not actually there. So when we fill out this, check out this, check out this, everything now is correct. Now what you need to do is this: go to your date, where is it again? Go to your date, the code, and rewrite the code to be this. You don't have to strip it. Rewrite it to be this format. Day first equals to true. Then the next thing, you can see that everything now is okay. So the next thing you have to do is to check to handle duplicates. If you know you have duplicates. So drop duplicates. Let's check the shape of the data set. So it's still the same thing. So we don't have any duplicates to drop. So the next thing we have to do is what? Save this particular data set. So let's save it. Let's save it. I'm typing what I'm talking. Let's save it. So df dot two. Let's save it in form of CSV. What's the name we'll use for it? Um, payment underscore cleaned. Payment underscore cleaned data. Index of yes, capital letter. So we'll save this. So let's check if it's saved. Where is it? Payment cleaned dot CSV. We have to check the format that we want it to save. So dot CSV. Exactly, see it here. So it has appeared already. So let's check from the folder. See it here. So let's examine this. Now you can see this particular thing. Some of these things are being replaced with unknown. Let's go to our date. You can see everything here is quite okay for us now to make use of. Okay, so this is all for this video. If you like this video, if you learned anything from this video, give this a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So our next video will be doing analysis using SQL and also building our dashboard. So if you want part 2 of this video, give this a thumbs up, leave your comments and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.